Hi everyone, welcome to the CD Cave. I'm Jack Burial. Today I'm back with another video in my series, What's in My Collection. Today I'll be featuring a band Genesis, so I hope you stick around for that video. Um, Before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. All those things really help support my channel. I really appreciate it. Um, so today it's all CDs. I have no vinyls to show. I did own some vinyl at one time, but I must have gave them away years ago, unfortunately. Um, but to get started, the first one I have is from Genesis to Revelation. This is their debut, which does not sound anything like Genesis. Sounds more like a pop type album. There's a lot of songs on here, really short songs, 2 minute, 3 minute songs. The Silent Sun, The Serpent, In the Beginning, In Hiding, The Conqueror, One Eyed Hound, yeah, from 1969. This is a good addition to my collection because I'm completist, so I have all their CDs that way. But definitely, it doesn't sound like Genesis at all. Next, Trespass. Great album here. Great songs on here. Looking for Someone, White Mountain, Visions and Angels, Dusk, The Knife. Great album. This is, I find, is a true first Genesis album. This is what they really uh, sound like. Next, Nursery Crime. These are all Peter Gabriel era CDs. This one too is another great CD. The Musical Box is a great song. The Return of the Giant Hogweed, Harlequin, The Fountain of Salmis is really good. Years ago, I went to Montreal and seen a band called The Musical Box, and they performed all Peter Gabriel era Genesis, and they were really good. And actually, I met the guy who played Peter Gabriel in the band, and yeah, it was a really great show, great memory. And I think they're still around touring today. Yeah, Nursery Crime. Next, one of my favorites, Foxtrot. I also love the artwork on these early Genesis albums. This too is a great CD. Watch of the Skies, Timetable, Get 'Em Up by Friday. Supper's Ready is also a really great song at 23 minutes long. I would love to find this on vinyl. I know there's two versions. There's a regular version and then there's a gatefold. I would love to find the gatefold version. Uh, I've seen them around and the artwork is quite spectacular on them. So eventually I would like to find one. Foxtrot. Next, another one of my favorites, Selling England by the Pound. This is probably the Genesis album I listen to the most. Love all the songs on here. Dancing in the Moonlight Night, I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe, The First and Fifth, The Battle of Epping Forest is great. The Cinema Show, of course, and The Isles of Plenty. Yeah, great album here. Definitely one of their best. Selling England by the Pound. And next, which would be the last studio album with Peter Gabriel, The Land Lies Down on Broadway. Double album here. A lot of material on this, but a lot of good material on this. The Land Lies Down on Broadway, the title track is really good. Fly in the Windshield, In the Cage is a great song. I think they still perform that live up until recently. What else is good? The Waiting Room is really good on here. In the Rapids is another one I think they still play live today. Yeah, a great double album. Land Lies Down on Broadway. And the last one I have to feature Peter Gabriel is the Live, Genesis Live. Great live album, very short, only 5 songs. But great 5 songs. Watch of the Skies, Get 'Em Up by Friday, The Return of Giant Hogweed, and The Musical Box and The Knife. Yeah. This is a great live album by Genesis. Yeah. worth checking out if you're not familiar with it. Now we get into the Phil Collins period, and probably my favorite and the one I listen to the most from that period is Trick of the Tail. A lot of people thought they wouldn't be able to go on without Peter Gabriel, but they did. They did fairly well too. Dance on a Volcano, Entangled is really good, Squonk, Man Moon, Robbery, Assault and Battery, Ripples, Trick of the Tail, Los Andos, from 1976, yeah. Definitely my favorite was Phil Collins. Next, Wind and Wuthering. This one too is pretty good. Not one I go to a lot. A lot of people rate this one pretty high on their rating system, but it's not one I listen to a lot. One of the Vine is pretty good. Your Own Special Way. All in a Mouse's Night is pretty good. Afterglow is probably the best track on here from 1978. Still pretty good, but to me it's one of their weaker ones. Next, the one that's just self-titled, Genesis. This is when they would start to be a bit more commercial on this album. They're not as progressive as some of the earlier albums. Mama, really like that song. That's All. Home by the Sea is really good. Illegal Alien is a so-so song. I'm not really crazy about it. Taking It Too Hard. It's going to get better. Overall, a pretty good album from 1983. Next, probably one of their most popular one, Invisible Touch. It is a good album, but I don't listen to it too much because I find it got overplayed at the time on the radio. So I don't really, a lot of songs I'm okay if I don't hear them that often. Invisible Touch, Tonight. Line of Confusion, kind of cool. The video was kind of cool on that. In Too Deep, Anything She Does. And probably the song I like the most on here is Domino. It's kind of cool, Throwing It All Away. From 1986, Invisible Touch. Next, and then there were three. This would be the first album without Steve Hackett. Down and Out is really good. Undertow, Ballad of Big, Snowbound, Deep in the Motherlode is a really good song. And The Lady Lies. And of course, Follow You, Follow Me, sorry. It was the big hit off this. Pretty good album from 1978. But you can definitely tell Steve Hackett is not in the band. The guitar work is not up to standard, I find, on that in this album. And not yet, anyways. But still a pretty good album. Next, another one of my favorites, Dukes. I've always liked this album. I've always liked the artwork on this album. I have this on my playlist pretty often. Behind the Lines, I really like Duchess. Man of Our Time is a good song. Misunderstanding was a big radio hit for them. Turn It On Again, one of my favorites. Alone Tonight. Overall, a pretty good album from 1980. One of my favorites, Duke. Next, Abacab. Good album too. These are more on the commercial side, not as proggy, but still some good songs. Abacab, No Reply at All. Dodo, Whodunit's pretty good. Man on the Corner is another good song. Another record from 1981. Pretty good, Abacab. Just some water there. Next, We Can't Dance. A little bit underrated. I enjoy this one. Phil Collins' last studio album with the band. Some good songs on here. No Sign of Mine is probably the best song on here. The one I like the most. Jesus, You Knows Me is also pretty good. I Can't Dance is okay. Very poppy, I find. Tell Me Why, Living Forever is good. Hold On to My Heart, Fading Lights. Overall, pretty good from 1981. A good way for Phil Collins to go out. We Can't Dance. And next, one that a lot of people dislike. I don't mind that at all. Genesis, Calling All Stations. This features Wilson on vocals. I do like his vocal. I like some of the material he's put out with solo artists and that. But a lot of people didn't like this album. I don't mind it. Definitely not their best, but still worth a listen. I do play it every once in a while. Calling All Stations is a good song. Congo. Shipwreck is a good song. That's All You Need is also a good song. The Divine Line's good. One Man's Fool. Yeah, from 1987. I like this album. I find it's pretty good. I know a lot of fans don't like this album very much, but I find it's worth a listen. Worth giving it a chance. Calling All Stations. And I have a few more. I have Live Over Europe, 2007. Double CD. This is with Phil Collins. It's pretty good live. Got some good songs on here. Turn It On Again, No Sign of Mine, Land of Confusion, In a Cage, Hold On to My Heart, Home by the Sea, Follow You, Follow Me, Mama, Ripples, Throwing It All Away, Domino, Invisible Touch, The Carpet Crawlers. Yeah, it's a pretty good album. Yeah. Live Over Europe. Next, I have one called Turn It On Again, The Hits. It's a single CD. It's got all their hits on here. Turn It On Again, Invisible Touch, Mama, Land of Confusion, I Can't Dance, I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe, No Sign of Mine, In Too Deep, Misunderstanding, The Carpet Crawlers, That's All. Yeah. Great greatest hits. Good to have. And then I have Genesis Live, The Way We Walk, Volume 1, the shorts. This too is pretty good. Land of Confusion, No Sign of Mine, Genius, You Knows Me, Throwing It All Away, I Can't Dance, Mama, Invisible Touch. Yeah, pretty good. From 1992, the shorts. Then I also have The Way We Walk, Volume 2, the longs. Which I had the first one, I basically had to get the second one right. And this has a medley of Dance on a Volcano, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, The Musical Box, Driving the Last Bike, Domino, Fading Lights, Home by the Sea. Yeah, so it's pretty good album too. Live, the longs. So that's all my Genesis CD collection. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, take care of yourselves.